interject with one another to say, hey, let's push this, or we need to try and do that, but they almost got flooded with, let's go over here, go over there, I've got a double kill, I need to do that. But you know what? It works for some teams, and Ace also working hard to pick up that double. The White Chiefs, they've been able to set up ever so slightly, but Kuhlect's just walked into station for free. He didn't even buy a ticket. He's hopped the barrier and said, you know what, I'll take the ball, it's mine.
But eventually the job will be done by Rammyy, who picks up 2 in the feed. Can they build upon this now? Round 2, did Spacestation take their eye off the ball? They allowed Chiefs to dictate the pace of play, but how Tylenul's changing that here. Killing spree.
I just want to become a better player, better teammate, I'd say. Because I know I have individual skill, but I want to translate it into a team environment to be the best for everyone around me.
I'd rather take every loss here on out, just drop the ball every event, finish strong at Worlds, than have it be the other way around.
The energy from the crowd is definitely incredible. And I don't know, there's something about it, the energy that flowed through you. You already knew someone was popping off.
I just want to say thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are keeping us going. You guys are having us up, and we'll be back for Orlando.
We're going to turn it around and promise we're going to start bringing home some championships for Space Station. My name is Aaron Ace Elam, and I'm a player for SSG. I started playing Halo, I believe, in around 2001. I think it was a year after Halo CE came out on Xbox. And I remember my family got an Xbox for Christmas, and we were playing PlayStation before that. And as soon as we got Xbox, we got Halo, we heard all the buzz about it, played the campaign, and ever since playing the first mission on campaign, and fell in love ever since. That's all I would do is play that campaign. I ended up progressing and eventually beating it on Legendary a lot. Then it would be 2v2s and a little multiplayer on one TV with my brothers and friends. And then, moved on to Halo 2, and my brother was in high school, heard about Major League Gaming, and it was just straight addiction playing that, 4v4 on matchmaking in Halo 2 almost every single night from there on. So I've been doing it for a long, long time.
The dynamic with coaching my brother is always great. We have similar goals in mind, and what we want to do and what we want to accomplish. It's still very early on in the game's life cycle, and just since the game's release, it hasn't even been out for 6 months now. Lots of issues and other things going with the game, from custom game lobbies to server issues and things like that. So, being with my brother is incredible, right? You get just added benefit of being able to work together, communicate more often. It's a lot of fun. She's a really talented player as well, and I think by the end of the season here, we'll be in a good spot.
Let's go back a little bit to Anaheim.
Eagle flag return.
But the bigger story, Spacestation Gaming not winning anything. A single game. It was complete shutout. So shocked. Esports Arena Red with a massive, massive win there.
It was really upsetting because our pool was against, other than FaZe, we had teams that we had a very good chance against. We did very well online against them. So going into the tournament, we were very confident in our pool. We could get first or second. So going up and losing against those teams that we did fairly well on before, it was kind of disheartening. So pools, and then leading up to the end of the tournament, we were just really defeated, I'd say.
Pretty big effect not having any fans of the event to play in front of. Is just kind of felt like a weird vibe there. We had a different team, and it didn't feel like our online practice translated to the LAN. It felt like we weren't kind of the same team on LAN. It didn't feel right. Something was off. I don't know exactly what, but that led us to making a team change. And,
there's always a ton that goes into team changes. You know, want to work with your players. You have to work with generally, or at times other organizations. Not all players are available at times, or deals just can't be reached in certain situations or circumstances. We made the decision to change the roster as we weren't necessarily as confident in what the potential would be moving forward. You know, I love all those guys, and you know, it's unfortunate because it is very stiff competition. There's not a lot of time to necessarily maybe at times wait for players to develop. You know, there's always nerves or other things associated with some of the first events you've been to, and with this being a new game and tons of new faces in the scene, you'll constantly, I think you'll see with a lot of different teams, some maybe like turnover, and you know, some players just adapt a little bit more quickly than others. So I think those guys definitely could have bright futures.
When we let Zion and Flazen go, it was really hard. Because I've known them since I was little. Like, we were kids, we always played together. There's never, I don't want it to be like a personal thing, you know? So, I mean, I've had the conversation with Flazen, I haven't really had it with Zion, but yeah, it was just upsetting. That's why it was so nice to be able to have that opportunity of like teaming together, because, I mean, we talked about it since we were kids, so. Like, once we got the news that we were gonna drop Flazen and Zion, I mentioned them.
We just saw that they were two young guns, you know, that were eager and had the desire to want to learn. And
Rammyy and Kuhlect were some of our, you know, best options going forward.
He got himself out of there, but this 1v1 will come through, and Rammyy gets that reversal.
Kuhlect is super fast paced. He loves the aggression. He's a main slayer, and that's kind of what he wants to do. He wants to pop off.
Fires a couple, and Madsy is fully aware.
Abel, or I go by Rammyy, and I play for Spacestation Gaming Halo. So I started off in Halo 5. I mean, I've been playing Halo since Halo 3, so ever since I was like 12, basically. But I never took it like seriously competitive until about Halo 5. You know, I just graduated high school. I'm young. I was like, oh, what do I do? You know, I don't want to go to college yet, and I'm tired of school. So then I was like, hey, you know, Halo just came out. Let me just play it a little bit, see how I feel. You know, I really enjoyed the game. I was matching a lot of pro players at the time because the game just came out. A lot of players are grinding ranked. And eventually it got to the point where I was so confident in myself that like, dude, I can probably do this, you know? So at the time I was working at Dave & Buster's, and I was literally in the middle of a parking lot cleaning out the trash for Dave & Buster's, and I called my girlfriend and I called my dad. Or I called my girlfriend at the time, like, hey, like, I'm kind of sick of this. Like, I think I could go like pro in Halo. And then they were like fully supportive basically. So I literally quit my job like on the spot. So I don't want to do this anymore. I already explained it to my manager, and he's like, hey, you know, do whatever makes you happy. Funny story about how I met Kuhlect. I went through my Twitter DM request because I have it open because people like to talk to me, talk to me about the game. And then this guy named Kuhlect literally is like in my Twitter DM request saying, yo, like, give me a shot. And I was like, all right, like, let me check out his profile. Then I saw he was followed by a lot of like 5 of the KCP people, a couple of my good friends that are like really good at the game. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, he has some like credibility just off of that alone. I watched his stream, his Twitch rebroadcast for like an hour, and his shot was just like incredible. I'm like, dude, this kid's kind of cracked. Like, I borderline thought he was cheating. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's like insane. So then I was like, all right, like, yeah, we'll run with you, like, you know, just to give it a try. And ever since then, like, you know, we've been teaming ever since the beginning, basically.
My name is Kuhlect, and I play professional Halo for Spacestation Gaming. I played COD before this. I was like a S&D kid. I played like Wagers and Childs and all that. And then I was already known a little bit in the Halo community by just a small amount of pros. And I guess it was a better option for me. It was like easier to go pro in Halo. I guess like an easier road. So I switched to Halo, and here I am now. It's kind of like like a no-brainer to join SSG with Ace and Ty. Personally, I think we should be in pools. A lot of people won't think that, but I think we will. I think we should. I've been through open bracket already at Rally. It wasn't anything like bizarre. Like, we went through, we were good. But I think this event, it'll be like, it's just way easier, just like a straight breeze through. I just ready to play pool play already.
In specifics though, and one that's really coming to mind that we've actually seen compete quite a lot, and it's kind of surprising now to see them in the open bracket having to fight to come back into the championship bracket, is Spacestation Gaming. Of course, they have made a big change to their roster here, picking up Rammyy and Kuhlect. We've got the likes of Ace and Tylenul on here. Kuhlect, an up-and-coming player, pretty decent in terms of his super fast gameplay. He's a main slayer, but along the side of Tylenul as well. I'm wondering what the dynamic is going to be like for this squad. Tylenul, obviously, we've seen his numbers, we've seen his stats from the 2 LAN tournaments that we've had him in, and it's been pretty amazing. And my question, Clutch, is, you know, right now, is this kind of more like, I'm coming in, I'm trying to prove myself, I know that I can stat a lot and I'm an incredible player. Do the team need to play around him? Or do you think the likes of Kuhlect and Rammyy coming on board will make this more of a cohesive unit?
I think they need to figure out a way to become a more cohesive unit. I think Tylenul has had great numbers, but the numbers that matter are the placements, and those placements do not bode well for Spacestation Gaming's past. But they have a big opportunity to once again make names for themselves. I feel like I was talking to Aaron, or Ace, I'm sorry, on a Wednesday night, I think, and I was making a joke. I go, Ace, it's about that time of the year where you randomly just get a 3rd place or whatnot. So wouldn't be shocked to see Spacestation go on a run, but that being said, their scrim results coming into the tournament weren't as strong as I would like to see them. But there's a reason we play the game in a best of 5. If you're a good team, anybody can win. So looking forward to seeing them.
Going through open bracket was, you know, pretty interesting experience. Not something I've done in a long time. I don't think I've been in an open bracket since 2005 in my very early days. Ever since then, I kind of immediately have moved up at that point. There's a lot of challenges with open bracket. Best of 3s are always really risky as well. There's a lot of good teams there. We're also the 5th seed based on the way the points and some of the international teams work. So it's sometimes challenging for other teams in open bracket, maybe a slightly harder bracket for us even. And like I said, with some of the different game types, it's not like a pick or ban phase or anything like that to come up with the game type. Sometimes it's just luck of the draw. So it was fun playing in it, but not necessarily something I'd look forward to.
Open bracket is a whole different environment and vibe, but yeah, I enjoyed my time playing through open again. It's been a long time since I played in it, and we ended up going through it without dropping a map, so that was good.
Oh, success.
Love that.
Nothing but success.
It was fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
We do have an XZ versus Space Station game that's underway elsewhere on one of the other streams. And XZ 2-0 up against Space Station, another team who are undefeated through the open were SSG. They seem to be struggling here against XZ. If you're Space Station, you really need a set of rockets or an overshield. As I say, that it is going to be firmly in the hands. Plasma Pistol hits the wrong player though. Ace really putting his body on line for the rest of the team. Very important that you've got someone who is prepared to do that.
Ace then sends on the base, pulls that flag. This could be curtains for XZ. They could tie up this game. Still a lot of work to do in the series though, but it all starts here and it could be the catalyst for change as Kuhlect gets it over the halfway point. Will his teammate Kuhlect be able to help him all the way through? Player down on double doors, but Ace spots that one out. Won't be fooled. This looks as though we could be all tied up.
Yeah, Kratos the last player. Every step you take, every move you make, he'll be watching you, but does not matter because Space Station will tie it up with 1 minute and 15 left to go. And it looks like Space Station did get that victory on Bazaar capture the flag, so it wasn't the 3-0 that XZ would have been hoping. And I think that XZ really need to try and finish Space Station here and now. They can't allow this to go to a game 5 because another Slayer, I think Space Station will be relishing that opportunity. So I want to see the sniper rifle actually go to work, start connecting with some headshots, start to shut down Space Station a little bit quicker. 87 points already. It's a very commanding lead here for XZ. You'd expect them to take the round. Oh, Repulsor hits the ball off the map.
Collect the last man alive, but 3 seconds is all they've amounted so far. But they already have that round 1 lead and a 2-1 series lead. They get one more round. Space Station lose the series.
Tough to assess where Space Station are at. It felt like they've always had these right ingredients, but it hasn't made a good meal. Yeah. It's just like they have so many strong players on paper, but just has not worked out. I don't really know. I feel like they have someone like Coach Elam who can tell them what they could or should be doing, but at some point it just has to naturally click, and they have not had that natural like cohesion that they need to be successful.
Yeah, I think you were totally spot on there. I think it is like we have some seriously good individual skill level on this team. We've got the likes of Tylenul, who we've seen absolutely pop off. We saw what he could do in Anaheim. We've seen the numbers he can put up, but are you a team player? Are you able to fit into the system? And I think, Bravo, when it comes to being in a system, to being in a team, and pushing that across the board to win series, have Space Station convinced you yet?
Not at all. To be honest, I think we call them the late bloomers, but if I'm honest, that's a generous term, because I still don't think that they've actually bloomed.
I mean, nice thing about this event is we got a couple main stage matches. Unfortunate part is a few of our matches at this event weren't streamed, so we don't have the VODs or any recording, or people weren't able to watch. One of the ones that they did get to watch, however, was our series against the Chiefs, the team from Australia.
You do indeed, and looking at Space Station on our screens right now, you know, unfortunately they haven't had the best ride heading into pool play. They've lost to Exit and Ascend. They're 0 for 2 currently in the pool. This really is a redemption series for them. They need to pick something up right now. Well,
About having winning energy the entire game.
Yeah, let's get it.
What it do, what it does, where you been, where you was, what it ain't, what it is. Face in the mud, I really be hating in the mud, said I can't pick it up, but I did. Y'all know Goon put too much bass in the sub, cup full of blood and I gave it a chug. Wait till your neighbors get all snug, then play this real loud where you live. This that for the kids, saw something strange, can't say what it is. Your kids came, ain't say what he did. Make sure move, put a chain on the gear. Yeah, I've been on top of the tower, got the back with the man. Gun cock in his pocket, shot, we'll put you down with the squid, since rock the power. I done hang with the guys and we talk for hours, yo. I feel like they
ATM.
I'm doing my job. Okay, I'm back to you.
Collect your own, back there. I'm on my way,
Top C, one down. More back
Shotgun on it.
Spawn screen as Ace locks in Pips for a double. Eye is set for the triple. Will he get it? Yes, he will. They will not have enough time to play for it though. Kuhlect gets one, as does Farcode though. And now Ace scrambles away with the ball, only requiring 5, has one to get in with.
Oh, Ace!
Troy Eukin! Space Station take round 3. 1-0 win the series.
It wasn't easy. And SSG don't look particularly overjoyed with the victory. It's business. They know they're expected
First match on main stage, we're playing the Chiefs, and my monitor, I don't think it saved the settings on the refresh rate. So I ended up starting up the map 1 on 60 frames, and it creates like lag, and it looks horrible, and it's pretty much, it's impossible to play. It's like being a quarter of a player that you are, you know?
I have both weapons.
Okay.
Aaron, you okay?
I don't know.
Here, take this.
Fucked up, bro.
Game's doing that.
Dude, we gotta end this game, bro.
No, keep playing. Just keep playing for now. I know.
Something's wrong, bro.
I'm watching this. Once a week, half.
Aaron, just play it through.
I'm like in slow-mo, I swear to God.
What shot am I
I was thought, you know, it would be a replay on something like that. I was in 5 seconds like, yeah, we got to replay this, but we're like, no, just go through it. I had to play through it, and we ended up getting the win, so it didn't matter.
Game 2 then. The stage is set. Space Station Gaming looking to double their series lead. We're underway then. And it's going to be Ace. See the thrive off. A little bit more of a frantic comms.
Yeah, they sounded mental. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
it was one of those. I could not hear.
Yeah, I have blue control.
Okay. C plat, one sneaky. I'm going to
Yeah, I'm going C plat.
I'm flanking. Look at sneaky.
Nice shot, man.
Two.
Come on. My ping.
Stacks.
All dead.
I have red.
Wants to be hanging with these big teams. Unfortunately, they're down the Slayer here. And they're knocking on the door of going down 2-0 in the series.
Oh, a little bit of teabagging as well. We don't know. No, come on, this
No.
ENZ guys.
No, you can't do that to them.
They're the friendliest bunch around.
Shock rifle does the initial damage. Battle rifle will do the final.
More, guys.
On the bottom, mid-bridge.
So what stacks? Skills kid. Stacks on the stack. He jumped at you. See.
Nice shot.
Let's go.
Just so you guys know, some of the casters predict the Chiefs to win, so.
It's crazy.
Nice shot, Baron. Ty, you're going straight God mode that game, dude.
Nice.
I was teabagging that game. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I don't trash talk or do any of that, but he got ninja'd, so.
Yeah, let's get him dead. Control tower.
Yeah.
Let's see what they can do with a sniper instead. There's some good stats for you. Chiefs, they have a really good record.
Live fire, right?
On live fire.
Let's not get greedy. Long game.
Get the fish.
Space Station on match point then. One more Strongholds game.
We're getting AB here.
Got that camouflage after working so
Nice
hard
stick.
for
Nice.
it and having
doing
their
it?
bodies on the line.
Hey guys, I think guys.
Side me tower.
Okay, get it. Live guys.
They're coming in. What's
Live.
next?
Watch your A plant.
Guys, live at B. We're good over here.
Campbell's on me, back B, watch out. Back spikes. Is two there?
Nice, Campbell.
To the left.
Nest bridge. Watch out, Nest bridge. Watch out, Nest.
Soaring. Nice, good shit. All dead.
Healer, look for the healer.
Pips is first one up.
Got heat wave.
Pips is slay.
Is that it?
Alright, that's fine.
Yeah, it could be a trip cap here. And Space Station will really now start to dig the grave of the Chiefs here. And look to toss them in and close this one up. Seal this series, start to think about playing against Cloud9 in this bracket. That would be Space Station's next game here in pool play.
Inverted A, only now have they. And that's just going to trigger the response from Space Station to collapse on the bases. Rammy's the first one to fall, but it's 3 dead for the Chiefs. They're on life support.
I think this is what I was trying to suggest about the speed of which North America play this game, right? Chiefs, they're trying to think about how they break out of a base, how they should push, how they should try and stop this setup. But before they've even had the chance to have that thought, Space Station are already drilling 2 of them. They're 240 to 25, and we're in the final stages now of this game. Space Station, it's job done. It's what they were expected to do. The Chiefs playing this successfully, but Tylenul with a double kill.
Can you see him? Watch out.
Nice.
Come B.
Manzi first one.
He's at A. Take it. That's good shit.
Look at the rest.
Space Station with the cleanest sweep. 250 to 132.
It's a 3-0. It's job done. It's business as usual. It's what was expected of Space Station, but
You know, in terms of Space Station and the roster though, Walshy, anybody really standing out to you in this moment in time that you can really note had a really decent game, honestly, in this series?
When you saw different individual plays, I was impressed by Tylenul. There's so many times where he's getting those slays, staying alive, being a very difficult kill. But ultimately, it still felt like, at some points, it felt like they were like almost like matchmaking games in some senses. It felt like a lot of individual efforts. It felt like, you know, a little slower coordination. So not the level of play that we need to see from Space Station to reach the upper echelons here at this event.
So we got off to a really slow start at this event. Right around our C9 series, which we ended up losing, but we played them really tight and we kind of just scrapped a lot of what we've been working on before and just wanted to pursue a really aggressive play style.
Yeah, we ended up deciding to try to make a kind of a play style adjustment mid-tournament, and I wouldn't say it's something that we were fully practiced on.
I mean, this game definitely just suits aggressive play styles, keeping someone on the enemy team essentially dead, taking advantage of your numbers or having more players alive.
To me, like I'm a lot more comfortable playing like that. Like that's the way I like to play Halo. So if everybody's playing fast and like killing people off spawn, like I tried to tell them, like, put it in our perspective, like what happens when we're getting flown at and like we're getting soloed out over and over. Like what happens? Like we're getting shit on and we're getting angry. Like we should do that too. So I think it's more of like a pressure thing. It's like I can't do shit. Like I'm just getting spawn trapped over and over. So,
but I think with time, I think that's the correct way to play the game.
Going into the Fnatic series, we started off real hot, 4-1, I think, in the first map, Aquarius CTF, which we've generally struggled on. So we were super happy to win that. But then I think it came back to bite us a little bit in game 2 because Bizarre Slayer, which is generally one of our stronger game types, we ended up dropping to them, tying up the series 1-1. We then fell in game 3 as well, and we're in a really tough spot in game number 4, Street Strongholds. Once again, one of our weaker game types. We were down 40 or 60 points right at the end, but then managed to pull off a great triple cap.
Let's fucking go!
And take that momentum in to secure the win, tie up the series, and send it to a game 5. we were actually in great position to close out game 5. We were sitting pretty with a nice lead going into the 30-40 kill marks, and we ended up, I think, having a push that we probably shouldn't have done, going 4 down or 3 down at one point, and getting cycled off spawns a couple times as well, allowing them to tie up the game. We had then had a kind of an error on a push long haul. We weren't sure where the sword players were, but we made a call to push down long haul.
I'd say we beat ourselves in that situation. We were up by about 8 kills near the end, and we made a call to do it, but it was the wrong call as a team. And I wish we called it off because I feel like we would have won if we didn't make the call because it was pretty costly overall.
Sword here, sword! Nice, Jay! Yeah! Nice, stop! Let's fucking go!
Unfortunately, one of the sword players was there, ended up getting a triple kill with it. I think he was hiding in a box. The second time we've lost to them, just not clearing all the corners and checking spots. They're a team that's notoriously known for hiding and kind of playing in like ratty corners and stuff like that. So they ended up catching us off guard a little bit, taking the win 50-48. So twice now we've lost to Fnatic in these really close game 5s. Kind of, props to them, shows a lot of the level of competition. A lot of these series at this event especially have been determined by really close game 5s and just weren't able to close it out. I think if we had maybe worked a little bit more on like the play style that suits our team going into the event, we've been a little bit more tight-knit and iced up in those kind of situations, but unfortunately just barely fell short once again. Another heartbreaking loss.
I know we came here, we got top 16 on a global tourney, which still isn't bad, right, when you look at like the big picture, but it's not where we wanted to be.
This time it really felt like we beat ourselves instead of just getting outclassed. It's really an unfortunate loss. Wish I could go back, but it is what it is. Got a minor setback for a major comeback.
I'd rather take every loss here on out, just drop the ball every event, finish strong at Worlds, than have it be the other way around.
I've had my mind and my eyes set on one goal, is to be the world champs.
I just want to become a better player, better teammate, I'd say. Because I know I have individual skill, but I want to translate it into a team environment to be the best for everyone around me.
The one thing I want to say to the fans is thank you for all the insane support.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all the chants, all the interactions that you guys, all the tweets, everyone using my code. It's really amazing to have that type of support.
Just thanks for rooting for us.
We're going to turn it around and promise we're going to start bringing home some championships for Space Station.